Welcome to the Benner Business Podcast. My name is Cliff. I'm here with my beautiful wife.
And partner, Sydney.
That is not to be an understatement for what we do. But yes, she is also my business partner and pretty much the thing that makes it all happen without me losing my mind or forgetting everything.
And the same goes for me too.
You're definitely more organized than I am. And we are here to bring you a new business podcast. This is one that we think we should bring to the market because we come from very kind of lower middle class, definitely below that line of economics for our family. And I think we kind of just build ourselves up. We went to college and we were discovering business, and we find that as a passion of ours. And that's something that we discovered that we can do and we can help people with and show them that, like, no matter what you come from, no matter what you're doing, you can do a business.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. I think we definitely grew up in kind of the environment where a W-2 is the only way. Like you have to follow orders, you have to go through whatever kind of corporation rather than trying to make your own version of your corporation.
Definitely, because I know growing up, I just remember that my mom and my dad, the second they could get overtime, it was like the greatest thing. Like it was um a blessing to get overtime. They're like, this is great. My check is gonna be so much better. Life will be better because I am working more hours for someone than the typical 40.
Mhm.
So I know that was kind of how I grew up, and I know that's how I went into everything, and that stuck with me throughout college.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then also like going down like a rabbit hole in a way. That's the way schools are designed too.
Yes,
We're
definitely.
we're designed to have certain times where we have to be at work.
Hmm.
And like even with college, it shows you were there for 4 years or however many years. It shows that you showed up to classes, you got like,
You showed up to a schedule, you
yes,
got assigned something, and you did it.
yes,
And you can repeat that over and over and do it all the time.
yeah. And you can
And
take homework home with you so you can work outside of work.
yeah, and that helps being remote and laptops and everything. Like now you can bring that home and keep working on it. Um,
Mhm.
and like I know, we're gonna be talking about us and things we went through on this, but one of the best lines that I got at work was, "Oh, you can work more than 40.
Yeah, it's
You can,
always the golden
yeah,
word.
it's always you're on salary. You can work more
Oh
than
yeah,
40."
especially when you're on
Oh,
salary.
of
Why
course.
not?
Yeah. I love seeing my hourly wage amount go down as I work more because that just makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, you're a valued employee.
Yes, here's an inflation raise to keep you at the same purchasing power year after year.
Hmm.
So no matter what happens with inflation, you'll always be able to purchase the same amount. So I hope you feel special and lucky for that.
Yeah. Or the scenario where, oh, we hired too many people, so we need to let you go.
Or somebody leaves and then they give you more work.
That too.
So you can be on your toes all the time about what's going to happen, especially in the economy right now. We know there's a recession happening. Real estate market's fun right now. We just watched everything go up, and everything has to come back down because it's got to level out. And so then now you get to watch all the markets, everything correct itself, and with that comes, oh, we need to stop spending. And one of the biggest what line items on a P&L for businesses is payroll. And you got taxes, benefits, payroll, and that's the easiest one to get rid of first. And that's because you could just put more work on somebody else now and work more than 40.
Yeah. Or you get a 1099 employee for temp and just
Yeah.
have them do it until you're like, okay, I don't need you anymore.
Hmm.
And you don't have to pay benefits either.
You just pay that lump sum they request or however that's set up, that contract with them. And then, when you're done, you don't have to warn them for 2 weeks or give them a notice. You kind of just, contracts either over or you just kind of fire them and say, like, I don't need to work anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's something that we've discovered. And I think that's something we don't really want to do anymore.
Yeah.
We're doing it. It's gonna be something we do, and we'll go through that. But our mentality, I think, has always been this is the way to get away from everything we've been through.
Yes. We know what our value is in a way,
Hmm.
and we're trying to get there. Um, just so our viewers know, we are currently working, you know,
W two, W two.
W-2
Yep.
jobs. So it's not like we're not in it now
Mm-mm.
while trying to do a business.
Not just
Like,
one, but two.
yeah, and they're tough to do.
Oh
Like
yeah.
trying to balance everything is feels like damn near impossible in a
Oh yeah.
way.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not. It was just we learned so much about ourselves. It's not just physical. Get there, grind it out, do it. And with one of our businesses, it's a lot of mindset. Not mindset, just mental capacity. You have to
They kind of
constantly
go,
think you're
yeah,
looking at a computer screen after 9 hours of looking at a computer screen. It gets
yes,
a lot.
yes,
And then figuring out like how stuff works emotionally. Like you have to. I know one of the big issues for me starting out was conflict. I hate conflict, and now after going through stuff, it's like, oh, this is actually a necessary thing for a business. And I don't think that's ever. It's one of those things that we hope in this podcast to bring to people is the small things that
yeah,
add up. And like we'll tackle big issues too, I think. We'll talk to other people about what they've learned.
hmm,
Um, but I definitely think that's something that, it's one thing here, one thing here. And by that time you have your hands full of everything.
hmm,
And you didn't realize that and you have to juggle that mentally, physically, everything, and you're just not no one ever warns you because like we talked about school and how we were brought up and raised is why would you do that? You're pushing yourself too hard. Just get a job, pay your bills, and take a vacation once a year, if that.
yeah,
So it's definitely a challenge. I think that's something we've brought to the table, and that's something we're going to bring to people.
yeah. And I think like listening to other podcasts that we've obviously listened to
Mm-hmm.
kind of made a redundant sentence there.
Yeah,
But
be a lot of those from both of us. We're pretty good about running circles and rabbit holes.
um, but now the train has left the Home Depot. Um, where was I going
What
with
were we talking
this?
about?
Shit.
I'm trying- um, oh boy, well, that is a great segment to our next topic on why we think. Well, actually, we've been talking about why business has been the route we're taking, and
Mhm,
I think another thing that comes to it and why we're doing this too is we did both work throughout college, and we both worked. I mean, I know I worked in high school, and I had
mhm,
um two jobs till at least two jobs until graduated in 19 from college. So from 2014 to 2019, I always had at least 40 hours of work a week and two places to be. And then that was one of those things where, watching parents and growing up the way we did, I was actually like thinking I was kind of hot shit for that. Cause like, look at me, I can do more than 40 at two places. I can balance life and as well and dandy when I could work or I could only sleep 4 hours a night, be fine with it, just drink coffee the rest of the day uh, until I jittered. But that's just it's not really what I want to do anymore. And I think that's kind of where we come to with these businesses. And I think that's what we're trying to bring to people is like cross that line of where enough is enough, and you see the potential of things. And that we were talking about podcasts, other podcasts we listen to.
that's
That's what it was.
right.
And
They don't really talk about like their life story sometimes. They talk about how they started the business and
yeah,
like all the rough scenarios, but what actually got them into it. And that's kind of where we were is we just grew up watching
hmm
our parents like just dig into another company and not get treated worth their value and end up firing in a way.
Yeah, getting laid off, or they had to just push through. Every day was a grind. Every day, I remember, I'm sure you've got the spiel from my mom a few times, but like she hated mornings. But I swear that for like 20 years of my life, that woman only worked the morning shift.
Yeah, I think she was out of the house at like 4
Oh
a.m.
yeah.
almost every day.
And I know one of the biggest things for my parents was like, we didn't have a lot of money. And so like they wanted someone to be around when I was not in school, which is a huge thing for parents because childcare is expensive. I mean,
Oh my gosh, yes, it is.
3 o'clock to 5:30, 5 days a week. I mean, that's like as much as a part-time job.
And your mom wouldn't even be able to drop you off at like, what was it, 4, 5 in the morning anyway,
Uh-uh.
because they're not open yet.
No, and that's where my dad had to do the opposite schedule, and his job was more of a 9 to 5, almost when he was in town. When I got old enough to take care of myself, and they taught me those independent things, then it was like, you need to wake up on your own. Here's an alarm
Mhm.
clock. You need to do stuff for yourself because my dad would get laid off or something happened and he has to go get a job, and now it's out of town 4 days a week, and then he's home 3 days a week, and mom works the 4 to 2:30 shift, so that way after school she was there. um and when she couldn't do that shift, it was to daycare until I was able to do the independence. And that's something, we lived through that, and I'm sure you had the same scenario.
Mhm.
um that's just not what we want,
No,
especially once we do have kids in a family. I mean, we didn't like it. Why would we want to pass that down? So this is our way of changing it. This is what the actions we're taking to prevent that.
yeah. And that's kind of our why is we want the freedom to spend with our kids, our
Yes.
or our dogs or
Yeah.
our
You'll notice he'll be in
gazillion
here a time or two.
animals.
Yeah. And I think that's perfect first episode to describe everything about what we do. And what's the biggest thing for business is just the biggest thing first is the why,
Yes,
is that will push you through the hardest times.
it will. It actually shows you what your end goal is.
Yeah.
Rather than staying in the W-2, your end goal is to get home and drink a beer.
Yeah.
Like,
It
don't get
just,
me wrong, I love that Friday nights because
yeah.
I
Glass of
need
wine,
it.
nice shot of whiskey. I mean,
Yeah,
but if that's
whatever's
your,
in the fridge that
yeah,
day.
whatever we have, whatever presents that we got at Christmas from someone, we still
Yeah,
haven't finished it off. But I mean,
yeah,
that's just, it's not, I don't want to say it's not enough, but it's not what we want. And so that's what we're trying to change, is getting away from those nightly whys into the main picture why.
yeah. The big picture,
Yeah.
and that's what we said is it's for our future kids, and
But not just,
all those dog moms out there, I can relate. I want to stay home with my dog. I love watching those Instagram reels where they're like, I want to be a stay home mom or dog mom.
mhm,
Like, sign me up.
yeah. You would take them out every morning.
Yeah,
Well,
okay. Maybe not at
you want
5 in the morning. Like, let's push it back a little bit. But
a 9 o'clock
how
wake
cool would
up,
that
and
be?
and
And
then,
then you work on your own business. You get to kind of choose your hours depending on your business, but you build your business up where you're just like, I can wake up at 9 o'clock, take the dog out, and start work at say noon.
well, and then you could actually, like, we have a hard time working out because there's no, I mean, right
Yeah,
now with our businesses and our work, I mean, we get up, dog walk, eat, you have to go. I'm already working on some of my business stuff, get ready, work, come home, and it's, eat, dog, and push to get stuff done, or chores, or anything to get ahead. I
if
mean,
you can even get off the couch.
yeah, by that time you're mentally exhausted and you have to do your business. I mean, it's part of it. Obviously, not saying business is easy. We
No,
know this, and we
yeah,
want our viewers to know this, and people too. It is not easy,
no, it's
but
it's
that why
not.
is what gets us there. Like, you know, especially for some of the things we can do, where it's like, if we do this correctly, we can make more money an hour doing what we want to do than we're
Yeah.
working somewhere.
And we'll actually get to help people
Yeah.
rather than, oh, I helped that one person just make 10 grand because we were able to sell whatever.
Yeah. They made a good
So they
sales
made a sale.
commission.
Yeah, a
I
sales
helped them make a
commission.
commission
Why I didn't get
while
anything in
I'm
return.
outwardly. Yeah. And then the company that we work for or whatever,
Oh yeah, they just got
they,
a
that
huge
was a
profit.
huge lump sum, but their
Yeah.
stock still falls that day or something.
Oh, I don't even want to start on the whole stock system. We're not going down that road today.
she she has a degree in economics.
We're not going
All right,
there.
it'll be another episode then. We'll do a rain check on that and make you go to that passion of the stock market
uh,
there.
I don't even know what's going on at that point.
No,
It's one of those like you look at it and you just I don't see anything moment, and
just
I'll deal with it tomorrow. And the tomorrow's the 2 months later.
yeah. Well, one time we deposited money and then we came up here to do some business and spent 2 hours trying to pick a stock, and we're like, oh, we didn't do anything. we didn't even we didn't even purchase a stock. We just spent 2 hours looking at it, and
Yeah, which stock to buy? Which one is
yeah,
better than the other one? Which one's actually going to make us more money?
I narrowed the list down to about 1,000. So I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah, because I think one year we put in our tax return because we're like, oh,
It'll grow,
it'll
yeah.
double.
And
Like what everybody says. We lost over half.
we still don't have it back. Well, no, we made it back in that one, and then we rebought it a couple months later, and it dropped.
Oh, gee.
So it's always a contest for that. I mean, another that's the why too. Why do we do everything that we want? We want a future that we control,
Yes.
and then it makes it a little bit easier to see in those losses because you're like,
Well,
well,
we create different revenue streams rather than just, okay, we just have stocks and we just have the W-2.
yeah,
We want to create like, oh, okay, well, here's a business for this, here's a business for this. So this business can cover our stocks. Wow. And then maybe 1 year our business is, oh, it's in the pooper.
yeah,
So our stocks can overtake that. So we're like, okay, they help each other rather than, oh, we just lost all that. Oh, I just lost a job.
yeah,
Yay, me.
yeah. You have that one stream of income, and the water is important. And when you lose that one river of income you have coming in and dries up, I mean, then you're just walking a desert. How great is that? And it's
Yeah.
thirsty, hot, and you have no idea what's going on because your emotions are running high. You're stressed. Nothing goes right, and yeah, it's just not fun. So that's something we're trying to do too. We're trying to take the W-2 stream, and we're going to take the business stream, and we're going to take this business stream, and our stock stream, and we're going to make a mighty Mississippi of income.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then that way, if one of those streams dries up for a year, that river is still going. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit less,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and especially helps because of what we've gone through. I mean, we've ate ramen lots.
Yes, there's also a book on how to make a bunch of different kind of ramens, which
See,
we never bought, which
we probably should have.
we missed out.
Maybe it was too expensive.
Yeah, putting ramen in a coffee pot, that's how you know you're towards the end of the
The college,
chain.
yeah, the
Yeah.
college life when you can't have a pot and you gotta.
Yeah.
They allow
Oh,
coffee makers, so then you have to learn how to cook out of it.
and
So
then you would get that parent who has the Costco card or a friend that has the Costco card, and you just go in and you eat all the free samples, and you're like, I had lunch.
but that was the date we went on weekly.
We did.
That $120 Costco membership paid,
Yeah, it gave me
that was
lunch.
lunch every week
Yeah.
and gas savings, and so that worked out well for us. Until COVID hit, we lost our tasting weekends.
I don't.
I mean, by that time, we actually had a little money. Well, we didn't budget, so we had money, we thought.
Oh, that's another story.
Oh, yeah. We'll add that to the
Yeah,
list. Gotta
budgeting.
budget. Got to budget. Oof.
Yeah, you actually do save money, and there's controversial on it on how to budget, which you need
Makes
to
sense.
figure out which one works best for you. And I think because we started with Excel,
Yeah,
and then I
Excel.
started watching videos like of cash budgeting,
Mm-hmm.
and neither one of us liked really having cash in the house. So then we found another solution on how to get our budget to work for us rather than us working on the budget.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason we went away from cash is because we had um those credit card points. And I mean, they add up.
They do, but we knew how to manage our credit cards. That's a difference. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes,
Setting it on auto pay for the statement balance
yeah, for
every
example,
month.
possibly one of
Okay.
our parents, you know, they exceeded their credit balance. They just because they weren't able to keep a mind on, okay, I spent on this, I spent on this, I spent on this. Okay, I can pay this off this month.
Hmm.
No, like you just keep adding to it because they're not,
Cognitive of what they're spending, and it adds up, and
yeah,
especially when you swipe. I
yeah.
mean,
And then,
I'm very impatient at the store, so
oh God, me
you're
too.
even worse. So I mean, when I'm
I'm
there,
awful at a grocery store.
I
I don't
mean,
even get a shopping cart because I'm like, we need to get in and we need to get out.
I know. You're
Military base, let's go.
you're like, we need to go here and get this. I'm like, well, can we go look at it? No, 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 that's not on the list. We're not looking. That's on
Yeah.
sale. All right, maybe if it's on sale, then we'll
It's like
look.
one of
But other
those
than
things
that,
like, have you seen that Instagram reel where they start attaching balloons so they don't
there's
lose
somebody in
people?
the store.
Yeah, you might have to start doing that because I keep running circles and I'm like, let's go.
That's how I get my workout weekly. Is I speed walk behind you. Well, I'm running and you're just walking. So
I'm shoulder checking everybody like,
yeah,
come on, man.
somebody cuts you off and you're like, oh, today's the day.
Who's my lucky candidate?
Yeah. Don't be throwing a bitch fit in Walmart.
How many people can I part?
Part the seas, I'm coming through.
Yeah.
I'll walk behind you and just be like, sorry, sorry.
And that's another reason why we started a business. So then I don't have to go at like Friday night at 6 o'clock when everybody's like, oh, let's go there too.
Yeah. We can have our Fridays.
Yeah. Then I'm not like freaking out.
Yeah. Well, we already had the whole day of W2 to just push us through. And then you got to deal with, not just driving there and getting road rage, but cart rage is the thing. That's why another reason we don't have a cart. I will muscle that stuff around the store before I have to do a cart.
Yeah.
And then you're going to muscle it around. And we might put it somewhere and then restock it. But man, it's not worth having a cart unless it's dog food.
Even then, sometimes it's not worth it when you're going through that Costco. You're just like, I'll live. We don't need that.
You should probably get back on track.
What do you mean? How's down my rabbit hole?
I mean, it's been a fun rabbit hole. So I enjoy it, but I enjoy talking to you. I'm sure they'll enjoy talking to us more, but we should probably ease them into the rabbit holes.
It's one of those lessons that I learned when I was a kid. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Well, they can choose this.
Fair.
We didn't get to choose that.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
Okay, lead us into the next segment.
I thought it was your turn to come up. All right. So wow, I am doing a great job. Can't read my own writing. I think we kind of gone over it. I mean, I think it's just kind of wrapping up the podcast for today. What do you think? You got anything else you want to discuss? We went through why.
Yeah.
We went through, who we are, what we're doing.
Yeah.
I guess we should probably tell them, what we did in college. That would help. It would kind of
get
solidify
some background
why
history on us.
So, I know. Well, I know what I got, obviously, because I was
I'm
there.
glad. I'm glad you were there.
So, I got a degree in accountancy, and I also got
a master's.
I got a master's degree. I'm going the wrong way here. I got a bachelor's degree in small business management, and then I got my master's in accountancy. So I can't do the opposite. You can't get a master's first, then a bachelor's. I guess it just don't work that way.
Oh man!
And then I also ran a club all 5 years I was there.
Yeah, your hockey club. So all you hockey fans,
yep,
please leave a comment over in our chat box. Tell us all about your hockey team.
Yeah,
how you're feeling about it.
I know this year my team is awful, but most of them are very young, and so they just got to find their way. I also don't have time to watch sports, so I have no idea what the record is this year. But
Yeah, it'll be fun when you pull up those brackets.
yes, next month, April would be the NHL Challenger bracket. Our group runs a nice bracket challenge, and we have a trophy for it, which actually came from the club
Yeah,
because some kid broke a stick getting getting scored on.
yeah.
So that was where that trophy came from. Um, but in college too, for me, I had at least two jobs at all times. That's also where we met.
Hmm.
And in college, man, I worked 1 year with six jobs. Four of them, well, three. I think three of them were for the school, or was it four?
I think it was four for some
Four.
reason because
Yes, because I
originally,
worked at a pizza shop, and
yeah,
then I got the
and
accounting.
because with the pizza shop,
I
they
brought.
or they lost business or
Mhm.
it wasn't in operation anymore because they went bankrupt or something. I don't
I
know
don't
the
remember what
exact
happened, but I had
reason.
to leave that.
Yeah.
Um,
And then you had to go out and find another job to just pay for college.
yeah, and that's where I started accumulating those school jobs, and
Hmm.
then I had four of those, and then I was a taste tester or a sampler
Taste
at
tester
Sa-
would have been
I
fun.
mean I did taste it. You're not supposed to, but you're gonna tell a 20-year-old not to eat the food he cooks in uh whatever store you're cooking in, whatever wholesaling store you're cooking food in. And
Yeah.
then yeah, I think I had a pizza job, and then I got my first accounting job, and that's when I had six at once for like a month.
I thought it went down pretty
It
quick.
it went down as soon as I got that job. I think I did 2 weeks because I think I got the job. I put 2 weeks in at a bunch of places at once, and
Gotcha.
then it went down to back down to a manageable two.
That makes more sense.
And then graduated, went into public accounting, and then got out of public accounting and went into private. So that's my qualifications. That's why I studied and what I'd like to do.
Right.
So I'll let you tell them what you've done.
So I went to college for equine business management and small business management. I got bachelor's in those, and then I got a minor in economics. And um, I worked on different jobs, and then with equestrian, you're required to work. Um, you don't get paid for it.
Well, I mean,
Essentially, you pay for it.
is it part of your tuition to clean those stalls, like to help out with the horse, the equine,
No,
the
like
stables? It's just part of it's your chores for
it's our
being there.
chore. Yeah, it's
Okay.
our privilege for being an equestrian.
Wow, what
Yeah,
an honor.
right.
I'm very sarcastic, so
Um, and then after graduation, we moved and
yeah.
I had to find a job. And obviously, like I was an equestrian, so I'm like, I've done this my whole life, so let's continue.
Well, equine management too, so that's what you were looking for at the time.
Yeah, and so um, I got a job doing something for equestrian related, and I was barely paid minimum wage. My
Mm.
checks bounced,
Mm-hmm.
and it just was a bad work environment. It was very, how would you just,
There was just
there's a
high
lot of,
turnover and high. It wasn't
if there
safe,
was an
and
HR area, um, our boss would be there constantly, needless to say.
it would the person at HR would just be like, you just
You're
have
back again.
yeah, have her office next to it with a window between the two, and just be like, hey, when you have
Yeah.
another meeting, I know I only did this, 7 hours a day with you, but
Yeah.
we'll keep doing it.
And then after I was like, you know what? Let's start a business because that's kind of when 2020 hit and we're
Yeah.
just it's time to make a new move.
Mm-hmm.
So we started our businesses. Um they kind of failed. And so in 2020, I think,
And I'll
or
let you.
21, I don't one of the years,
Mm-hmm.
um had to kind of get back into the W2 world.
That was 22
That
because
was
the real
22.
estate we bought was in 21.
Okay.
So
So kind of failed, owned up to it. We got another job to help pay for our business mistake.
yeah.
And it was rough. And but we did learn a lot.
Yeah.
And then going back into W2 world is just, I didn't realize how managers treat you.
And you were
They
out of it for
really,
a while.
they
It was
really don't care about you.
it's hard in those settings. I believe there it is hard for people
And
who care to stay in to be in those settings.
I'm in a corporate
Yeah.
setting, so it's not like your manager in a private way,
Mhm.
like a small business.
Yeah.
No, this is a big corporation.
And I think once a business does get too many employees, like once you don't know the name of all your employees or everybody you work with, I mean, I think it gets really hard to keep for them to keep track of that and to care about employees.
Yeah.
That's about the time it usually transfers into, from a small business to like a larger business. And that's when they start, the purpose of businesses is to provide, um, I think it's to provide, I'm gonna botch this right now. I'll look it up for the next episode. But purpose of a business is to, provide shareholders to increase shareholders' wealth. So once you get to the point where that's what your goal is, then having those employees, it's just kind of
We're a number.
we're a number, and we got to make numbers to be a number for
Yeah.
them, and that's about how it is.
Yeah. We're just a
Whereas,
walking number.
for us, the way we've been raised and with our whys and the multiple streams of income, we know that like if we get a business that like pays us, but we can pay our employees more, it's going to be one of our goals to do that because it's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't need the income entirely from this business. Like I take a portion from this one, I take a portion from this business, and then I can help my people, help them to help me more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's something we've both learned being in corporate positions.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dealing with like for us, we don't want to deal with big corporations. Our businesses, we don't want to be big
No, we want to be
corporations because
small.
we've learned we're just walking numbers.
Yeah.
And we don't want to portray as those kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
We want our employees to be like, oh shit, I get to go to work. Hell yeah. Those people are going to give me like a decent, or I don't know where I'm going with it,
I think I get what
where
you're
I'll
saying.
make
Like
them happy,
they
or they'll
they
be
have
happy
they
there.
have like yeah, they have
A
happiness. They have a
reason to
reason
go.
to go. And like when they go in, they're like, today's meeting day. I have this to present. I'm pretty excited because I know like when
They
I
can
do
talk.
this, like
Yeah.
I bring my ideas, and like that's the big thing for the company I have gone to is it's a small group. There's not many of us. I mean, I remembered everybody's name the first week because the first 2-3 days
That's
I met them
impressive.
because there's just not that many of them, and you get to go in and make suggestions, and the business changes, and that keeps the wheels of the business rolling. So like because that change is important, but when you do get in those big settings, they have to have approval because that's the way the business is designed and it's written, and that's at it makes sense that there should be structure, and for business to increase shareholders wealth, there has to be the level of trust going down the line. And in order to do that trust, you have to set up those steps and set up those procedures and all those rules and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think we're gonna come back to this topic. I think it's a big one.
I agree with you on
And
that.
I think another one we're gonna have to do is failure. I think we need to talk about
Ooh.
failure. That'll be hard. I think we've gone through that, but
we're gonna have to bring alcohol to that session. We're gonna have to film this at
it's
night.
gotta be grape juice.
Oh.
We'll put the grape juice on the counter, and whatever's in our cup is in our cup, but it'll be portrayed as so.
Gotcha. I see where we're going with this.
Gotta read between the lines.
I'm taking what you're throwing.
All right, so I think we have a few episodes that we'll be doing on other stuff, and we wanted you guys to know why we're doing this, who we are, why to listen to us, why to come back to us, and we want to make this a community where you can talk and network, and that'll be another episode how important networking is.
Oh yeah.
So like, get a hold of us. We know someone who knows someone, or if the community gets together, they know someone who knows someone, and just grow that way.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
huge benefit in owning a business or even wanting to start out a business to learn more.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something we didn't do when we started. And that like
we
you
didn't
said,
know anyone here. We weren't taught that either.
Yeah.
How important networking was,
Yeah.
who knowing who. So there's a lot that we were not taught in school. We weren't conceptually taught. in
No,
school, didn't read in books, and didn't really get that experience on
it's just
stuff.
hands on
Just hands on. You got to learn
by
the hard way.
failing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that those two would go perfect together. But yeah,
So,
I think that's a great idea to lead
mhm.
into a future episode. I have no idea what's going to be the next one. Obviously, we go down a lot of rabbit holes,
Yeah,
but
I'll let you know that morning.
okay,
So
perfect.
if I remember, but
I feel you on that one. But please uh, check us out at Benner.Stride. We have a
yeah,
website.
Benner.Stride.com,
We have a website, Instagram.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, if we
Uh,
use them,
if we use, that's a great point.
if we use them,
Always like, subscribe, share us to people who are looking to start a business.
yeah,
That's what Benner.Stride is for, is to help people who are looking to start a business.
yeah, like we're here to help,
We're
and
trying to take the biggest parts, the hard parts of the business. I do
yeah,
bookkeeping, we do coaching.
yeah, we
So
just want
like,
to show you
what?
how we failed, so you don't have
Yeah,
to.
you can have the life you want through business. That's what we believe in,
Mhm.
and we have a why.
Yes,
And those two together have been what we try to portray to people, and that's what we hope you guys get from us. That's
yeah.
what we're doing, what we're here for. We really look forward to seeing in the future. And
Maybe on the next one we won't be super awkward because obviously this is our first one, and I think we
we did a
didn't
good
do
job.
too
Yeah,
bad.
I think it helps looking
But
at you because I've never done camera stuff
I know,
before.
I
So.
feel you. I feel you. But also, if our viewers, please give us suggestions on what you think we could do better for this podcast, YouTube, even social media. Like,
Constructive
yeah,
criticism is amazing. It,
we're not
constructive,
perfect. We are
constructive.
not perfect.
Oh no, no.
We need help.
Yeah, I would like to say I put on my pants one leg at a time, but I think it's two at a time. So it's kind of special in that way.
I forget when I put my pants on sometimes, so it happens.
Those are all great days, though.
Living
With that,
in the marriage life.
we are out of here.
Thanks for listening to us or watching, however you're listening to this podcast, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.